So basically what we want to do here is some guys like to take their metal flashing. I actually have a pre-cut piece here. And what it's going to do here, it's going to sit on the front. And this part that goes up the front dormer wall here is going to get covered with siding. And then this part is going to get basically if water comes down here, it'll have that metal flashing so water can hit here and run off the front of the roof. Some guys like to have this bottom part showing. I don't mind that. But basically, if it's possible, I like to have that front row of shingles kind of covering. I think it makes it a little bit better, better appeal, just visually. So before we get too far with shingles, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna center it on this front wall here. And we'll take a pencil or a Sharpie, and we'll mark this front corner here, right where it goes, on both sides. And then we're going to take a tin snips and basically do the same thing that we did with the ice and water and come up at a 45. And we'll bend this around and then bend this flat. And that'll be our first stage for our flashing here. So let's go ahead and make those cuts. We'll put it in place. Okay, so we went ahead and made those cuts, and now basically I'm just going to fold this part right behind and make a nice crease here so it sits nice and tight. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure this sits nice and tight across the front. Make a nice crease. Okay. And now you can just take some roofing nails. This bottom part sitting nice and flat on our roof. And you just want to tack it in place up at top here. So notice how I'm staying fully away from anywhere where this meets the roof here. We don't want any nails in here so water doesn't go through this flashing. Do one in the middle and one on the other end here. Okay. All right. So now what we can do is take another full length shingle here and go ahead and measure out where exactly we need it. We have our chalk line as a reference. Make a little slit. Again, it happens to be right at the top of our little joint here. A little slit there. Line it up with our seam. Got a joint here. And then we'll connect those two dots. All right, as we put that in place now, go ahead and line it up on our chalk line. Make sure our seam looks nice and good, and nail it off. So what we can do here, we can be pretty confident. We can put a few face nails in here. You want to try to minimize the number of face nails. A face nail means basically the head of the nail is open to the weather. But since we have this aluminum flashing here, we also have that ice and water basically in the valley of this joint here, and we have the ice and water on the bottom. These nails, as they go through, will have a pretty good seal. And what we'll do after we get these guys on, I'll get one little guy here on this flat. is we'll come back with some blackjack or some roof tar and cover these guys up. We'll go one more right here. Now obviously you want to just put as many as you think you need. You don't want to go crazy here. And then again, as soon as the sun hits this roof, that tar line under here will basically act as glue and make a good secure adhesion there. So I'm actually gonna drop down to the floor real quick and get some blackjack and show you how to put some tar over these to make sure they don't leak. Okay, so I got some roof cement here, or some blackjack. And what we'll do is we're gonna put a little bit of a dab over each one of these face nails. Just a little warning with this stuff. It's not dangerous to your skin, but whenever volunteers are using this, just make sure they know that it doesn't come off at all. So you wanna make sure it doesn't get on your skin or your clothes because it won't come out. Basically, if you get any on your hands or on your legs, baby oil is actually the best way to get it off. It just takes a little while and a lot of scrubbing. So make sure that whenever you do use it, make sure people know it's down so they don't accidentally put their hand in it, or just make sure people don't get it on themselves. So what you want to do is actually get a really good blob on there. What you don't want to do is have just a little tiny bit and rub it all off flat. Basically because as the sun hits that, it's gonna melt away. So you wanna have a pretty good size blob on there. Just do a little circular motion and it'll come off. And try to be neat about it. There you go. There we go. And that'll be good enough for whenever that dries, it'll dry solid and no rain should get in there. So again, just make sure people know that that's down, so if people come back and start doing the siding, they don't put their hand down in that.